Have you ever wondered why some financial markets grow exponentially while others struggle to gain traction? The answer lies in a phenomenon known as network effects. This concept may sound high-tech, but it's actually quite simple. Network effects occur when the value of a product or service increases as more and more people use it. Think about it. The more people that use a certain cryptocurrency, for example, the more valuable that cryptocurrency becomes. And it's not just cryptocurrencies. This principle applies to stocks, bonds, commodities, virtually any financial product or service. It's a self-reinforcing cycle. The more people join in, the greater the value, which in turn attracts even more participants. This snowball effect can lead to exponential growth and explain why some markets skyrocket while others lag behind. This is the power of network effects, a key driver in determining the success or failure of financial markets. Network effects are not a new concept, but they play a pivotal role in our interconnected world. Let's dive deep into what network effects are and how they shape the financial markets. Essentially, a network effect occurs when the value of a product or service increases as more people use it. This phenomenon is largely responsible for the success of social media platforms, ride-sharing apps, and cryptocurrency, to name a few. Network effects can be direct or indirect. Direct network effects are straightforward. The more users a service has, the more valuable it becomes. Think of a social media platform. The more friends you have on the platform, the more content you consume, and the more you engage. In the financial markets, direct network effects can be seen in peer-to-peer lending platforms. The more lenders and borrowers there are, the more robust the marketplace becomes. On the other hand, indirect network effects occur when the increase in usage of a product or service spurs the demand for complementary goods or services. For instance, the more people use smartphones, the more demand there is for mobile applications. In financial markets, indirect network effects can be seen in payment platforms. As more people use a particular payment platform, more merchants are incentivized to accept that form of payment, which in turn attracts more users. Now let's talk about the implications. Network effects can create a virtuous cycle that fuels growth. As the user base grows, the value of the service increases, attracting more users and further increasing its value. This can lead to a monopoly or oligopoly, where one or a few companies dominate the market. However, it's important to note that network effects can also create a barrier to entry for new competitors, as they struggle to match the value provided by the established network. This is particularly crucial in financial markets, where trust and reliability are paramount. So, as the network grows, the value for each participant increases, making the network even more attractive. This is the power of network effects, a concept that is central to understanding the dynamics of our interconnected financial world. Now that we understand network effects, let's see how they shape the financial markets. In the world of finance, network effects can significantly impact the growth and success of various ventures. Let's take a dive into a few instances where we've seen network effects in action. Cryptocurrency is one such example, with Bitcoin leading the pack. When a small group of early adopters started using Bitcoin, it was relatively unknown and of little value. But as more people joined the network, accepting and trading in Bitcoin, its value skyrocketed. This increase in value then attracted more users, who further increased the currency's value. This cycle, a perfect illustration of network effects, is largely responsible for the meteoric rise of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies. Similarly, consider the case of online stock trading platforms. These platforms have democratized access to financial markets, allowing anyone with an internet connection to participate in trading activities. As more people started using these platforms, they became more valuable. More traders meant more liquidity, which in turn attracted more traders. This positive feedback loop, another manifestation of network effects, has led to the exponential growth of online trading platforms. But it's not just about cryptocurrencies and online trading platforms. Network effects are everywhere in the financial markets. From the rise of mobile payment apps to the success of peer-to-peer lending platforms, network effects are at play, pushing the boundaries of what's possible in finance. However, it's crucial to remember that while network effects can drive exponential growth, they can also lead to volatility. The same network that propels a cryptocurrency to stratospheric heights can also send it crashing down when sentiment changes. Similarly, a trading platform can lose its appeal if it fails to maintain the trust of its users. These examples illustrate how network effects can create a powerful momentum that drives market growth. But as we'll see in the next scene, There's also a flip side to network effects, so stay tuned. However, network effects are not always beneficial. They can also create significant challenges. Now, let's delve into the darker side of network effects. It's important to remember that while they can be a powerful tool for growth, network effects can also lead to some considerable downsides. One such downside is market monopolization. When a company or product becomes so popular that it dominates the market, it can stifle competition. This might sound like a dream come true for the company in question, but it's not always in the best interest of consumers. Without competition to keep them in check, monopolies can set prices as high as they want, and there's little incentive for them to innovate or improve their product or service. A classic example of this is the tech industry. In recent years, we've seen a handful of tech companies grow so large and influential that they've essentially cornered their respective markets. The result? Fewer options for consumers and less motivation for these companies to push the envelope and create something truly groundbreaking. Another potential downside of network effects is the risk of rapid market collapse. When a product or service relies heavily on its network to succeed, it can be incredibly vulnerable to shifts in consumer behavior. If users start to abandon the product or service, it can quickly lose its appeal to the remaining users, leading to a domino effect of departures. This can cause a once thriving market to collapse almost overnight. Think of it like a house of cards. If one card is removed, the entire structure can quickly come tumbling down. The same principle applies to markets that rely heavily on network effects. They can grow rapidly, but they can also fall apart just as fast. So, while network effects can fuel market growth, they can also make markets more vulnerable. It's a double-edged sword that requires careful management and a keen understanding of market dynamics to wield effectively. So, as we move forward, it's crucial to keep these potential pitfalls in mind. Given these implications, how can individuals and businesses harness the power of network effects in financial markets? Let's dive into that, shall we? To leverage network effects, it's crucial to understand that the value of a product or service increases as more people use it. Therefore, the first strategy is building a strong user base. This might seem like a daunting task, but remember, Rome wasn't built in a day. It's all about starting small and expanding steadily. A great example of this is how social media platforms grow. They start with a few users, and as more people join, the value of the platform increases, attracting even more users. Now, it's not enough just to have a large number of users. The next strategy is to create value for these users. This can come in many forms. For instance, providing unique features not available elsewhere, or offering incentives for using your service. The key is to offer something that keeps the users engaged and invested in your network. Moreover, it's important to recognize the role of compatibility and standards in harnessing network effects. Creating a product or service that easily integrates with other products or services can significantly boost its value. Think of how apps within the Apple ecosystem seamlessly interact with each other. This interconnectivity enhances the overall user experience, making each individual product more valuable. Furthermore, maintaining the quality of your network as it grows is vital. A network loses its value if it becomes too crowded or if the quality of interactions decreases. Therefore, ensuring a balance between growth and quality is key. Lastly, remember that network effects can be a double-edged sword. While they can drive exponential growth, they can also lead to market saturation or monopolies. Therefore, it's crucial to use network effects responsibly and ethically. With the right strategies, network effects can be a powerful tool for financial success. So keep exploring, keep innovating, and remember, the power of connection can unlock untold potential. To wrap up, let's summarize the key points we've discussed. We started off by exploring the power of connection, which is the bedrock of network effects. We learned that these effects are a potent force in financial markets, magnifying the value of an asset or service as more people use it. We then delved into practical examples, showing how network effects play out in real-world scenarios. We saw how they can create a snowball effect, attracting more users and further boosting value. However, we also touched on the flip side, discussing potential pitfalls and challenges. Network effects aren't always positive and can lead to market monopolies and other issues. Lastly, we looked at how to harness these effects. By understanding and leveraging network effects, individuals and companies can gain a competitive edge in the financial markets. Remember, in the world of finance, the power of connection can be a game changer. So, keep network effects in mind when navigating the financial markets.